Perfect, mate. Well, I'm ready to roll when you are. And I don't think I've spoken to you since Scotland and all that stuff, so you can ask whatever.
Yeah, so it's good to have you back. It's been a couple of weeks. The people who are going to go and see this, it will be out Friday night. So
Yep.
sorry for everyone being delayed. Um, but so how was your trip to Scotland with the Free Jacks, and what was your role in all of that over there, Wheels?
Yeah, mate. It was really good. Good to put another country stamp in the passport. Have collected a few of those since moving over here, but no, mate. Edinburgh's a lot like Dunedin in a lot of ways. There's some real connection. In fact, I think Dunedin is the Edinburgh of Scotland. So it sort of felt like going home a little bit with all the history there and a lot of buildings that look like the train station in Dunedin. But it was a great tour. Yeah, I was the tour director, so facilitated all of the logistics and operations and made sure we've got a good group of guys that can represent our club on the world stage. Yeah, we won one game comfortably and then lost a game in the last few minutes. So really probably everything you want out of a rugby tour, some lessons learned on the field, but lots of cultural experiences offered. And the main goal for American rugby is trying to, upskill their collegiate player pool and try and get them real meaningful competition. So yeah, I think we tick those boxes and taking our U18s to Wales in July. So that'll be really exciting as well.
Oh, yes, is that another tick in the passport again, is it?
Yeah, it will be. I know, and a lot, and it's not all about me, of course, but it's cool. You get to plan the tours, and then you go on them yourself.
Oh, yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. Hey, so we'll get into the rugby. You're seeing the result for Dunedin, and congratulations to those for winning the Spates Cup. So, what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's great. I was following the round scores on the RFU website live and seeing the try by try updates, and I was pretty shocked when Dunedin got out to was it 31 or 33 points to nil lead at Peter Johnson Park, and yeah, not many teams can do that to Tyree in the first half out there. It's they obviously just had a bit of a lapse there in the first half, and it sounds like they got a bit of a serving handed to them at halftime, the Eels, and they came back pretty well. But yeah, 38 points to 35, Dunedin just had enough in the tank to get it done in the end, and that's great for their club. I know it's a big five rounds coming up before playoffs, but to lock in some silverware, it takes a lot moving into the second round. A lot of confidence.
Yeah, and a big scoring game against University and Harbour, and
Yeah,
University getting back over the line over Harbour. So that was quite a bit of surprise as well. I would have taken Harbour on that one with a lot of the university guys away playing in the New Zealand Universities team. So
yeah. No, I watched the highlights of that game and was following that one live try scoring as well, and that was just like a game of tennis, really. Just point for point, back and forth. I think Nathan Hasty scored a ridiculous amount of points for Harbour, which is no surprises there. He adds a lot to club rugby when he can play. But credit to the Bookrooms, as you said, like without some star players on the field, the likes of Ricky Jackson and I think Jeremiah Ussie, they were they showed that they've got some real depth in their squad this year, which will be important in the next 5 weeks.
yeah, and a typical result for Kike over Zingaree and Southern over AU. So
Mm,
so. Yeah, and that's finished the round off. And
yeah.
I think there's 5 points between the top six now. So that's pretty close.
Mm. Which is great. Yeah, I think that's just what you want Premier Rugby to be. You want, any team can beat anyone on their day. Obviously, Zingaree probably have been, I guess, the disappointing team of the season looking from afar because I know that they put a lot of effort into their recruitment and they were doing some great things up there. But it looks like they can put in a good 40 minutes and then they just sort of lapse after that. So they'll be trying to figure that out ahead of the next 5 weeks. And yeah, the Alhambra Union changing room will be a tough one to be in at the moment. But I guess you've just got to take it week by week. When you're getting that amount of points put on you, I know it's tough, but you got to take it week by week and I guess find internal positives to try and drive for.
Yeah, and I take my head off to AU turning up every week, doing
Yeah,
their best. Like at the end of the
definitely.
day, it's not nice to get a lot of points put on you, but they've still got their chin up and they're still working hard. And
100%.
it's really important that they stay in the competition for next year and think about building now and then building it for next year. Because
Yeah,
that's what I would take it at. Take these last 5 rounds and use this building block for next year.
yeah. I've heard they've got strong Colts numbers, which is already one big box ticked. If you can have that solid core of Colts players coming through and that can filter on into your premier squad, then that's really what it's all about. So, yeah, it's they're one of the oldest clubs in Dunedin, aren't they? And they've got a lot of history, and they're in such a prime location as well, down there in the middle of Studentville. So it'll be definitely sad to lose them, but I know
Yeah.
they've got some good people at the club that'll make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and their women's side's looking odds on to taking the women's premiership. But they're
awesome,
being pushed by Dunedin and BRCN University again. So I think they got their last round this weekend, and then they're into the
great,
finals. So we'll report more on that next week. So I think I've got
brilliant.
Matt Doreen in, not this week, but the week after. So we'll have a good chat
Yep,
to him about Spirit Rugby and see where they're getting at. So it'll be good to have Matt
awesome,
in.
love it.
Yeah, and I think Zingaree are in that same box. They're going to have to take stock of where they're at and then see where the program's gone wrong. I know William's a really good coach, so I think he'll be onto it. And I think they'll probably do the same thing, use the last 5 rounds for the see where they're at for next year.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't even know the format of the next 5 rounds. I know it changed from when I was doing the draws there at Tiger Rugby, so it seems to change each year, which is
Yeah,
probably tough for the clubs. But
yeah,
yeah, I assume how does it work? Is the points table points just carry over? Is it? And
yeah.
um,
The points are carrying over. So
yeah,
every odd number has a bye. So
got it.
every
Okay.
odd team is playing every other odd number, and all the evens are playing the evens. So this week it's GI up against University, Torrey up
Yep.
against Harbour, Dunedin up against Zingaree, Kike up against AU, and Southern has the bye.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the way it
Oh,
works.
nice.
I think the ones who get a bye, depending on where they finish, depends on what sort of points they get, either 1 to 5. So,
Yep.
so if you're the top finisher, you'll get 5 points. I think. I think. Don't quote me on this, people, but you can comment later. And second place out of those lot get 4, 3, 2, 1. So
Got
yeah.
it.
So yeah,
Makes sense. Nice.
yeah. I think that's where it sits. It was explained to me the other night. So
Cool.
yeah. So your thoughts going in with GI University? GI is sitting
Mm.
second, fourth on the table. And university is sitting seventh, and they've got a bit of work to do for university to make that top six.
Yeah, no, that's a tough game to pick. I see it's out there at Miller Park as well. So I watched the ODT rugby chat, and it sounds like Green Island might have a few boys back, particularly in the front row. So that'll be a real healthy boost for their club. But I think out there at Miller Park, I think GI will get it done in front of their fans. They're obviously coming off a good win against Tyree, and they had the bye last week. Is that right? So
Yep,
um,
they had the bye last week.
yeah, so they'll be a bit refreshed and ready to go after that battle of the saddle, which they got a great win in. So yeah, I'll back the Grizzlies.
Yeah, so I'll be covering that game. I'll be out at GI watching that myself. So for me,
Brilliant.
that's the game of the round.
Mm.
You could say Tyree Harbour another game of the round, but I've been 3 times. It'll be the third time I go out to Tyree, so I thought we'll change it up. We'll see GI and University, but the Tyree Harbour game will be interesting. I think
Mm.
Tyree have got a point to prove because they got beaten out there last time by Harbour, but as we know, Rico's still out injured, I believe, and so I'll be back in Tyree on that one.
Yeah, no, I think Tyrell certainly want to come out of the gates a lot better than they did last week against Dunedin. So I think that'll be the real focus for them is playing that eel style of rugby for the full 80 minutes. And no, I think Tyree could get that revenge that Harbour enacted on them earlier this year. And as you said, Harbour not having Rico has definitely been influential in their game. So yeah, I think the Eels will get it done.
Yeah, and then of course you got Dunedin out at Shark Park, and then up against Zingaree, and then we got Kike up against AU over at what's it over at Kike there. So
Yeah,
yeah, they pretty
no,
they pretty much explain themselves, I believe.
Yeah, it'd be nice for the Zingery to get a win. I always love seeing Dunedin lose, but I I actually remember one of the famous wins for Zingery at Kettle Park. I think Kane Hamilton was playing that day for Zingery, and they got a win in pretty tough conditions. So they'll have some happy memories from that field. But I think Dunedin are really a strong contender this year to be in that final four. Um, and I expect Zingery to put up a fight for that 40 minutes, and then Dunedin just pull away with it. And yeah, I think unfortunately for the Broncos, it may be a bridge too far for Kaikarai. But as you say, that they certainly will show up with the team and be looking to cause an upset.
Yeah, because it was really good to have Hunson and chat to him last week about where Kaika are at, and as he
Yeah,
said, they're a pretty young side, probably the youngest side in the comp, and they're a very well balanced side. So I expect them to go on in the top six.
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, I think they're another side that's just hitting their straps as well. And I think the Premier Comp's it's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? So, um, yeah, some clubs are really just starting to ease into their seasons, and yeah, it's getting close to the business end now.
And I think the way it's structured, the way that where they've structured the last 5 rounds, that the top teams have an easy run, couple of games, and then they're into each other. So
Okay,
I think
yeah,
that's the way it should be tiered. That you, as your games go on, they get harder and harder, and they're must wins. So it'll be
100%.
be real interesting to see where they all end up in the top six. I think
Yeah,
University have their work cut out. They're a wee bit behind, but it's nothing. They can catch it. So
yeah,
yep. Because as I said, there's only
brilliant.
5 points between the top six.
Yeah, it's great. It's just what you want. Is that you don't want comps that are blowouts. You want every club to be competitive, and I think it's that's probably one of the tightest races we've seen in a while. So it's good. It's good to see year after year, continued improvement.
Yeah. So have you got any tries that stood out for you over the last week that you saw?
Geez, I had a big weekend at the Red Sox on Sunday, so my memory's sort of recalibrating. No, I mean I think one of the Nathan Hasty ones was really good. I think he scored three or four, I can't remember. But
Yep.
yeah, I'll just give NATO the try of the day and one of his efforts.
Yeah. I'll find one of those and throw it up for you.
Yeah, but Dunedin had some good ones as well.
Yep.
But yeah, just go. Let's put it on NATO. It's always good. I think he was playing 10 as well, so he was
Yeah.
playing out of position. So that's even more impressive.
Mhm. Right, Wills. Thank you for that. And
Pleasure.
it's good to be back on track. And we're looking for the finals. And we'll catch up with you next week, eh?
Sounds good, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, brother. That was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
That's awesome.